I am a European feminist. My roots are in Australia. I've lived in the Netherlands for 30 years. I'm married to an American, and I think that's pretty well what a European feminist would be these days. It's not necessarily somebody who was born here, but it's somebody who has the idea that wherever we are, what we have to bring in as feminists is relevant. I think where we are now with the idea of what is feminism is that we have come to the conclusion that it's a very broad area of discussion, and that in each part of the world something different is needed as a feminist action point. I think one of the really big issues in Europe is migration. I'm part of migration. What is important about migration is that our countries have changed a lot. We're looking very different. The colour of the country has changed. And part of the concept of feminism is to look at who the women are in each country, in each region, and then to say what are the needs of these women. How is it possible that women in any country, anywhere in the world, can have their full access to all their human rights and social justice? What I think is an important role of a conference like this, the Wide Conference, is that feminists from anywhere around the world get together and they talk about the specific issues that they're facing. We do come from the strengths of our own knowledge of our own particular fights or struggles or issues that we're dealing with in our own contexts. The important part about being here is to network, and to network is not to see who is doing the same work as you. That's obviously interesting. We have to fight. We have to come into arguments. We have to get debate going. So I think an important role for an organisation like WIDE, and an important role for an annual conference, is to actually be a space for debate and for dissension and for not agreeing with each other. What I'm looking forward to for the coming 3 days of the conference is people to get into serious arguments with each other. I do not want to see people getting into petty arguments with each other. I want them to be fighting about basic issues and to be passionate about moving forward. Every new feminist movement comes up with a set of demands, and you fight for them, and with luck you'll have a number of those demands met within a very short period of time, and then you'll spend a long period of time trying to get the other demands through. This has been the history of feminist activism over the past, I don't know, certainly throughout the 20th century. What we can now do is we can ask the young feminists, and there are plenty of them, to take on the challenge of really thinking about reframing the feminist needs, certainly in Europe, but in other parts of the world as well, reframing what the feminist agenda is, and then taking it in a very fresh manner forward. Of course, we still have the old issues. In most countries of the world, the right to an abortion are not recognised. I find that a basic human right. In more and more countries, that right is being taken away. So there are huge issues that, in fact, a completely new generation again, and they are willing, can take up and can demand their right to making the decisions about their bodies. The women's movement is maturing by understanding that we're going to have differences. We are learning from each other. We are finding out a lot about each other's movements and each other's strengths. There's a lot of young women here who probably haven't been to previous conferences, and they can look with completely different eyes at the feminist agenda for today.